Am I the asshole for threatening to quit my job because my wife just randomly quit hers? I feel like that's wild. Just like from reading the title, and I like to try and make my predictions based off the title. And I think no, so far. Let's get into it. My 35 male wife, 33 female, inherited a large chunk of her late father's sizable estate. She made it very clear that the money she inherited was supposed to go to her dad's bloodline, also known as her and our children, 13 female and 9 male, that I'm not entitled to a cent of it. I feel like if OP brought this up and that was like something that he was like pushing to get like a part of this inheritance, then sure, say that. But if this was just like a random thing she was saying just to be like, hey, just to let you know, even though we're in this together, this money is mine and it's for my children and me, and that's it. You will never see a cent of it. That's a little bit red flaggish, I'm not gonna lie. That's a bit strange. I'm not saying that he should get any of it. It is for this family. Like, I'm not saying that the bloodline thing is wrong. Sure, whatever. I feel like it's a little weird. It is a little strange because you guys are married, right? But I feel like it's just a strange thing to bring up randomly. You know what I mean? But okay, I don't know if it was random or not. Let's continue. We live in North Dakota and I make $52,000 a year doing a property management job I hate. It gets old driving around dealing with tenants who take their frustration out on me because my boss decided to cut corners. Yeah, that sounds rough. My wife worked as an accounts payable clerk, making $32,000. She hated her job because there was no growth and it was boring, but she held the job to show her dad she was responsible. Her dad died, and now she inherited a 5-bedroom mortgage-free house in another state. It's in one of the most HCOL areas near a private college where nearly all of the students come from East Coast private schools. I have no idea what HCOL is. If anybody would like to enlighten me on that, I am all for it. Please let me know. She rented out the house by bedroom to students and gets $6,000 a month when it's all said and done. Yeah, that's a lot. I feel like I mean, it is pretty good. That sounds like a good amount of money for a month. Like, geez. The rest of her inheritance is locked in a trust that pays out $15,000 a month. Living in North Dakota, the approximately $252,000 she gets is more than enough to live well. However, I feel my wife has been unfair with how she's handled the money. Right away, she rented herself a BMW. Oh yeah, that's a bit compulsive, isn't it? I feel like, obviously it depends, but at the same time, right away? Geez. And also, aren't the most expensive cars the ones that, need the most maintenance? I don't know. I could be wrong on that, but I feel like that's somewhat true at least. I don't know if BMW is like that, but I know, a lot of the more expensive cars, they took a little more upkeep, and that's why you gotta be rich to have them, because you don't just spend the one price, you don't just, pay that one price. You have to keep spending and spending and spending to keep it up. But anyways, okay. And then she decided she was done cooking and would order out every day. Oh, okay, so she's just compulsive. And, to be honest, I can't really harp on this lady too much, because if I became a little bit wealthy, if I came into a big lump sum of money, I would probably decide that I wasn't going to do half of the stuff that I do right now either. I would probably decide that as well. So, I can't really say all that much. But probably not these two things. I would keep the car I have, and if anything, I would hire someone to cook for me, because I don't like eating out. It's not fun for me. The problem is, I have high cholesterol, and a lot of the foods aren't good for me. And the foods that are good for me, she never leaves enough real leftovers. I feel like this is a you problem. If she doesn't want to cook, why don't you cook? This is so wild to me. You both worked jobs, right? You both had jobs, and she decided she doesn't want to cook anymore because she's rich or whatever. But she found the time when she was working to cook Also, why didn't you do that? Why didn't you guys share the responsibility of that? You both had jobs. You were both working. She was cooking. What were you doing? What were you doing? Exactly. So, I mean, that one I'm not going to say is wrong on her part. If she wants to eat out every day and not cook, not lift a finger, whatever. I feel like that's her prerogative, her whatever. But I feel like you're a grown adult. Look up some recipes. Microwave a potato. It's not that hard. I don't know. This is just yapping to me. I don't know. I can stomach the fact that her inheritance is hers. But it does hurt that I've never resisted picking up the financial burden when I earned more, but she hoards all her new money. That, I will say, is weird. Is a weird thing. If you marry someone and you claim that you love them and they're like the most important person in your life besides your kids, which they should be, the most important person besides your kids should be more important. I feel like you would at least want to pay them back because he did earn like $20,000 more than she did when she was working. So that part, I feel like that's weird. That's weird that she's not at least trying to help him to, like, if not letting him quit his job and like do something he likes, like send him in the right direction, like maybe pay for him to study something else so that he can get a different job that he might like better. I don't know, just like setting something in motion for him, because that is very odd to just like to know that both you and your spouse hate the jobs that you're in, and then for you to like get a better opportunity and be like, oh well, I'm done, I don't need to do this anymore, and then just to like leave your spouse doing that same job that they hate while you're like getting a better deal. That's weird. That's strange. That is something you do to a coworker that you don't know, not someone who lives in your house and is your spouse and the parent of your child. Like, that's weird. That's weird to do. So yeah, that one's a weird one on her part. She puts her inheritance, disbursements, and rent income all into accounts under her name, and meanwhile, our day job incomes kept going into joint bank accounts. Oh. First of all, I've never been in a relationship at all, so like none of this is something that I've experienced or whatever, but I feel like it's strange. I think the idea of a joint bank account is very strange. I think it's very odd. Like I understand for like rent and stuff like that, so that makes sense to me, like a joint bank account for like rent and whatever, but all of it going into a joint bank account? No, definitely not. No. So yeah, I don't see that being a good thing for anyone. But anyways, that would make sense, but then she quit her job out of the blue last week. She said she looked at her boss, 50 female, and that she was not cut out to work until she was old like her. Girly, you were 20 years away from being that age. Why are you calling her old? That's not even old. That's like a midlife. That is so wild to me because people a little bit younger than me look at 33 and they're like, what, is that how old she was? Yeah, they look at 33 and they're like, oh, that's old. But like, that's not old, and neither is 50. That's wild. Anyways. I don't know. That was so off topic, but I just had to say it. She wants to pursue her passion of photography, but doesn't want to earn money from it. Huh? She really is trying to pursue some rich people activities. I mean, sure. I mean, yeah, I guess. But bankruptcy is in your future, girlfriend. So she quit, but the problem is that she quit because she gets $250,000 plus basically effort free. I don't benefit from that, but still have to pay for the mortgage and other household expenses since she refuses to pay for it, citing it is joint expenses. Oh, heck no. I'm sorry. What? I'm sorry. That is insane, actually. That is so crazy. You still live in the house. Unless you're moving yourself and your kids out of the house and making your husband pay for like the house that you just moved out of, like, that's something different. That he still lives in, that's something different. But the fact that you all still live in the same house and you're making him pay for everything, that's actually ridiculous. What is going on? Wow. She's really just, wow. Like, that's actually so crazy. I don't have any words for that. I don't have any. Like, that's insane. We got in a fight and I threatened to quit my job too if we were all quitting jobs now because work is hard. Her rationalization was that she buys takeout every day for us now. So I don't think meals for a month can really equate to literal mortgage. Like, are you insane? Are you crazy? Because on one hand, the food, especially takeout, like, I feel like takeout, the most you can spend on takeout, like, rationally a month is like maybe up to $300. It's a lot, right? But a mortgage is in the thousands, okay? Like, depending on what your house is. If it's in the hundreds, you're doing really good, and you're in a place where you're doing, like, really well, because that's insane. Like, nowadays, a mortgage, like, I can't stress enough that is not equal. That is not, she is insane for that. That is so crazy. Where was I at? So my job was enough to pay for our mortgage. Jeez. I asked that if she wants to upgrade houses like she upgrades cars, I'm guessing the new house won't be in my name. Will I have to pay the maintenance and contribute to the mortgage payments? She said I should have to because it would be living expenses that I would benefit just as much as her. Am I the asshole for being annoyed at her selfishness? I think you need a divorce. I do. I really do. You need to leave this lady. She is insane. Let her figure out what it's like to run out of money and not have anywhere to turn, and then also have to go back to a job she hates. And you be nowhere near that, because that is insane, honestly. And I feel like I suggest that so often on this channel, like, get a divorce, leave this person. But this is a special case, I feel like. This is such, I hate this. I hate that so much. Anyways, let's look at the first original comment. Not the asshole. Does your wife expect you to pay the full mortgage because that is joint property and she doesn't feel she needs to put her money to joint property? Did I read that right? Inheritance is separate property, and yes, legally, you don't have a right to that. If she's going to be that stingy, I would start putting all my money in a separate account so that you can control how your salary is spent. Exactly. Honestly, I would, in this guy's position, I would stop paying the rent. She's so rich, she could pick it up. Because, are you serious? Are you so serious right now? I understand if she wants to split it 50-50, but the fact that she's not splitting it at all with him, she makes so much more. To, like, just to remind you, he makes $52K. She makes $250K. Alright? So that's 4 or 5 times what he makes? Like, are you serious? Wow. Wow, that is so insane. And if she's that transactional with her spouse, maybe I'd just look into getting a divorce so that she can Scrooge McDuck all on her own. Yeah, I would look into that as well. Like, that's so insane. All right, another original comment. Do not quit your job out of spite. That would be dumb. You should immediately create your own account and have all your checks deposited into that account. No more joint account at all. Then decide if you still want to be with her or not. If you do stay, then split all bills as evenly as you can. But don't be surprised when she decides she wants to run off with her new money. She might. She actually might. Someone responding to that says, based on her current behavior, it sounds like she's trying to push him away so she can run off with the money and not feel guilt over it. I didn't think about that, but that kind of does seem plausible. Another original. I think the real question is, does your wife still want to be married? If it was me getting that kind of money, I would want to make life easy for my whole family. At the very least, she should contribute funds equal to income, meaning she should be paying far more of the household expenses relative to annual income. Yeah, exactly. Responding to that, someone said, I can't imagine coming into a lot of money and not letting my spouse benefit from it in any way. To the point that he's continuing to work a job he hates, and I'm continuing to benefit from the money he makes from that job when I have zero need to. Yeah, that's crazy. I understand her money is her money, but the way she's handling this is just callous and cruel. I don't think you can possibly love someone and be like this on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, I don't think she loves this guy at all. Like, that's crazy. That's genuinely wild. Like, I get that a lot of rich people are like, well, if we get a divorce, then I don't want you to get my money. But you guys are still married. Just have him, like, I don't know if you can sign a prenup in the middle of a marriage, but just, like, put it in your will or something that your husband doesn't get anything. I don't know. Like, what? Like, be so serious. Be so for real. You guys are together right now. What? Why did you get married if this is how you're going to treat your spouse? Like, that's so weird. All right, another original. I am in your wife's position and have an income from inherited money each month in excess of your wife's. I pay for our entire life, including our cars, mortgage, food, vacation, etc. I choose not to work, but my husband conversely chooses to work in education. From his job, we get wonderful health insurance. I am incredibly grateful for his contribution. If he were to choose to retire, I would be fine with this as well. We are a partnership, and I would never treat him this way. Please prioritize yourself and your children. You are worth so much more than this. Yes, that is how it should be. Like, you contribute what you can to your relationship, and whatever the other person can contribute, that's what they got. You know what I mean? And especially in, like, I'm always assuming that this is America. Like, when I read these, that it's America. Especially something like health insurance, that's huge. You know what I mean? So that's pretty good. And the fact that you guys are, like, the whole point of marriage is to share your life with someone, or at least that's what it's supposed to be. So it baffles me when people just, like, don't want to make life easier for their spouse, like when they have the ability to. That's so weird. Someone responding to that said, difference seems to be that you actually love your partner. Yeah, this lady does not love OP at all. It's very apparent. Okay, another original comment. So she wants the joint expenses to be fully paid from the joint account, which you are paying into, while the $6,000 in rent payments goes to her private account. Sounds to me like that should count as joint income, while the trust fund's monthly payment remains inheritance territory. Okay, almost fell off on that one. So probably not the asshole, because I think you're getting the short end of the stick here. Yeah, genuinely. Responding to that, someone said, Redditors are overly quick to recommend divorce, especially without full information, but this really is a case where if what OP states is true, he should be talking to a lawyer ASAP. Stop depositing into shared accounts, figure out what your rights are right away. This lady is not on your side, for sure. Another original comment. Not the asshole. There's no way in hell I would stay married to someone who treated me like that. Your wife is an epic asshole. Okay, last original comment I'm gonna read, and then we're gonna cut there. Not the asshole. The inheritance showed you your wife's true colors. Divorce her and let her enjoy the money. You will be rid of her and your resentment. Someone responding to that, OP responding to that says, yes, it's not so much about me wanting to upgrade my lifestyle, but the fact that she's saying that her contribution to the mortgage and other household expenses besides the takeout is now zero since she has no job. Baby girl. That's infuriating. That is so... I would have been gone. I would have fled in the middle of the night and sent letters to my children. I would have been gone. That's crazy. I will have to carry 100% of that burden while she enjoys her inheritance. She also said that I should keep my job because if I get sick, I'll need it to pay medical bills since she refuses to use her inheritance for that either. Oh my god. Yeah, leave this lady. She doesn't care about you at all. This is wild. This is so insane. Yeah, so definitely not the asshole. For sure. But yeah, that's where I'm gonna end it. Thanks for watching, guys. You'll catch me later. Bye.